Hi YouTube. Today I wanted to do another video for my Maumee River Walleye Run fishing video series. It's getting that time of year, and people are starting to catch their limit of fish up there, so I'm doing some preparation for a trip up there. It's about an hour and a half drive for me from where I live north to the Maumee River, and I do as much prep work as I can before I go. And today I just wanted to do a video of how I tie a leader. And one of the first things I was going to talk about is there's kind of a debate on whether you should use monofilament line or fluorocarbon line. And unfortunately, I think I've already told you guys that I've been up there about 6 years now, I think, fishing the run up there. So I'm not like an old pro, and I don't pretend to be a person that's up there every day fishing, because I know there's a lot of people that live up there that obviously have a lot more experience than me. But there is a big debate on whether you should use the monofilament line or the fluorocarbon line. But I've always used monofilament line and have had success with it, but just because I like to change things up to see if I can always improve upon my gear, I decided to this year tie some up with the fluorocarbon. So I went out and bought a little spool of fluorocarbon line just to see if it makes a difference or not. So the best I can tell, the differences between the fluorocarbon and the monofilament line are that monofilament line is stretchier, and it also absorbs water. So it's a little bit stretchier and weaker, and also it floats. So the fluorocarbon line is more dense. It actually sinks, but it's also a lot tougher and tighter. So there's not as much give in the line. So you can see I've already got a bunch of lines or leaders already tied up with the monofilament line, and I just always use whatever I have laying around, and I use 8-pound test trilene. That's what I've used in the past. I've used other brands, but this is what I have laying around, and that's what I use. And then I just went to Cabela's and bought this fluorocarbon line here. So I'm going to go ahead and tie up a leader for you and show you my method, and will show you what knots I use and things of that nature. So let me grab a floating jig head. So I use 2 different sizes of the jig heads. You have basically a small and a large. I buy all of my jig heads from the Maumee tackle store up there, and they got these big, what me and my friends call them paintball, because they look like a paintball. We call them the paintball heads, and then just the regular jig heads. But so as far as length goes, that's one drawback, that tying your leaders up ahead of time, it's kind of hard to tell, because I have seen that make a difference where somebody with a 3-foot leader is catching fish, and somebody with a 18-inch leader isn't. So I always do take a spool of string with me, with jig heads and swivels, to if I want to tie a specific length. If I see that somebody next to me is just killing them and I haven't been doing anything, I'll tie some on the fly. But for the most part, what I've been successful, and again, this is just where sometimes people argue or whatever, but for me, I say usually between a 2 foot and sometimes even up to a 4 foot leader, but usually I try to hang around like a 3 foot leader, and I'm pretty successful. So what I do is I just use a measuring tape and maybe peel off, if I'm making a 3 foot leader, maybe peel off 4 extra inches of line. And then I don't know how well this is going to show up on my camera, but what I do is I tie a Palomar knot on both ends of this. So I'll take the jig head and run the line through like that. I don't know if you can see that or not, but run it through and back, and then basically what you do is you tie like an overhand knot like this. So now you've got an overhand knot with the loop. Then you just run your lure through that that loop you made, and then just tighten that down onto the lure, pull it tight. So that's a Palomar knot, and that is a knot that without question will not break. That's why I use it. The string will break 100% of the time before that knot will come undone. So then I also do the same thing on my swivel, and what swivel size you use doesn't matter too much. I've got these bigger ones, and I've got some smaller ones. The bigger ones seem to be a little bit easier to tie, but also seem to get snagged up a little bit. Easier on things in the water. So then you just tie that loop, then run your swivel through the loop, and then tighten it back down. I'm sure there's probably better videos on YouTube if you don't know how to tie a Palomar knot. That's it. So then I've got a 3 foot leader made, and then what I do is I'll put that on my Lindy keeper here, my Lindy rigger, and I just wind that line on there like that, and that one's ready to go catch a walleye. So again, not everybody pre-ties their leaders. That's just a method that I use, and the more experience I get up there, the more success that I have, and that's one thing that I do, is tie my leaders up ahead of time. And my philosophy is that the more time I have a worm floating down the river, the more chances I have of catching my limit. Some days when you're up there, you can limit out in a couple hours, or other days you're up there, fighting for every fish. So on those days, it really pays off if you have your leaders tied ahead of time, and you can see the different colors and sizes. I try to buy a little bit of everything and have a nice variety of different colors. But that's it. That's how I tie my leader. Like I said, I'm not really in one camp or the other as far as fluorocarbon or monofilament. But what I will tell you is this is what I use for my main line on my spool for my fishing reel. It's a Fireline 14 pound, and that stuff is awesome. It's I've had the most success with this, and I've tried lots of different things. I started using monofilament, and I basically have progressed to using the Fireline. So thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear what your experience is with using monofilament or fluorocarbon. Again, like I said, there's lots more people that are more experienced than I. But I'm just, for the sake of argument, I decided to string some up with the fluorocarbon this year just to see how it goes. So again, thanks for watching. If you like my video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching.